I'm sure if you have a favorite content creator that makes Tarkov videos, they've already complained to you about how awful this game mode is, but I'm not a Tarkov creator, so I'm just gonna come at you from a different perspective. I literally don't care about how bad Battle State is at rolling out games. Like they're bad. Like that's a known fact. And Tarkov as a game has been broken and in beta for years, like 7-8 years. I'm not surprised, and therefore I don't really give a shit. And I think that's important because when you actually play Arena and you look at it past what it is right now, which is a broken mess, I'm hopeful that it's actually going to do quite a few things that I want from a game like Arena and Tarkov. And I might be in the minority here, but one of the favorite things I enjoyed of Tarkov was the gunfights, even though the recoil was bad and the mechanics were weird and movement is janky, and I don't care. It was unlike any other type of shooter that I've played, and it still is. And for that reason, I really enjoy it. And so this Arena gives me the opportunity in my head to skirmish multiple times in one game, a lot of games in a row, and really just get to experience gunfights in the game. And one of the things I realized after playing for 6 hours is the reduction in gear fear this would probably give me if I played the core game. Because I can count on one hand the amount of times that I actively used a really good weapon loadout, or even a good gun with no attachments, whether it was the M1A or the M4 with some reasonable attachments, because gear fear, or it was too expensive. You know, you use this really good gun. What's the point of using this good gun with bad ammo? Guess what? You ain't got no choice, man. And so getting experience and reps behind using the RFB or other guns that maybe I wouldn't typically use as often, I think is pretty important. Feeling how guns and gunplays and shorter fights happen in Tarkov, it really reduces the amount of fear you have when you're fighting 16 times in 10 minutes versus 16 times in a month. And that's cool to me. But there are so many glaring issues with the idea that they've set up. I can just go over them. The fact that there are tiered loadouts, and you may actually just be kitted out with a loadout that is incapable of fighting somebody else's. That was a problem in Tarkov that was not fun already, but there were ways to get around it. You could still have a successful raid if you got good loot. You could still rat for 35, 40 minutes and catch somebody off guard. You could wait till somebody's looting and shoot the shit out of their legs. But these rounds are 2 minutes. They're too short, and the game is too fast-paced. It's too geared towards Call of Duty mentality and not really functional for a lot of the things that make Tarkov exciting. I don't even know why they give you meds. Like, just give me, like, if you have something that stops bleeding, you win. Because you're not going to have time to ever repair or heal or anything, and it's loud as hell, and the map is small, so therefore, you know, what's the point of these meds, man? I literally don't think I ever use them. And the fact that a lot of your kits don't have armor or don't have good armor or have, you know, whatever, you're getting one-tapped with a PPSH from across the map because they got lucky. Yeah, that's a thing that can happen. So I think that on that front, there's so much work that needs to be done, both with queuing into groups that have level 4 or level 5 armor when you have PST ammo, impossible, or even worse, like FMJ ammo. Like, what are you gonna do? And then I also think that, like, the inability to swap classes after you've spawned in, like that, like there's no counterplay in a game that's about trying to adapt with your kit to somebody else's, or adapt to your play style. It seems really like they're trying to kind of straddle a really fat line between tack shooter and aggressive gameplay. I think simple changes like 2 minutes and 30 seconds for the round would go a long way. I want to be able to have a gunfight and maybe heal up and then get into like a shaky secondary gunfight. As it stands, people are in the final fight sometimes, like just a floating torso, just like wheezing. And I think the problem is that the game runs too long if you let people let it run too long. So at the end of a 2-minute period, they have a capture the objective point. And at the end of a 45-second capture the objective point, if you don't do it, they send out the bosses, the raid bosses, and they come and try and kill people. And then you still can survive, and the last person standing after that wins. So what's frustrating is it's like they give you 3 different objectives: kill everyone, capture the objective, stay alive longer than the other guy. And I think they just need to put an end point to force people to fight for the objective, because at the end of it all, it sucks watching people just hide in a corner and hope they outlast the other. And that's not that fun. But the act of playing these rounds, I think, is a good idea, and the act of trying to make this kind of like a tactical Tarkov-esque Call of Duty game mode instead of being Tarkov or Call of Duty. Cool, good idea. But introducing an economy system, what the fuck are the rubles for if we're buying all these classes and you have to pay money at the front? Like give me more to use my money for in some reasonable and realistic fashion. Otherwise, like, let me buy grenades or something in the game during the match. Otherwise, there's no counterplay for the people that are actually out kidding me. I do say there is some counterplay on some maps because there are power weapons, I'll call them. We'll say kitted out weapons like the SVDS or the SV98 on the airplane map, or on woods, you know, whatever that is called, the log cabin map. You also have a sniper rifle or something with better ammo, better scope usually, or a better gun overall. And that's cool because if you do have short range weapon or you're not at an advantage against a bigger, better guy, there is some level of counterplay if you get lucky and you get your side's weapon and you're a better shot than them, I guess. But I guess people don't really realize that. There's like things to pick up around the map sometimes. There's meds, there's additional, you know, guns. So I think adding to that could really help balance the level of gameplay that we find. But as for looting and taking things from the enemies that you kill, no point. Takes too long, too vulnerable. Really, really rare. Only time I've ever done it is if they've had a reasonably, like, a short-range weapon and I only have a sniper. But I just don't see a lot of what makes Tarkov work in this game mode because of the length of it. And I even think that maybe having wave-based like lives or something so that you can have these like 5-minute rounds even, or 10-minute rounds where we're getting the experience of Tarkov fights where you have 5, 6, you know, actual fights in a row with the same person before you confirm a kill. That would go a lot further because your life doesn't mean much in this game mode, and when Tarkov lets you throw your life away, when there's not a lot of reason to care too much about the act of pushing or whatever, you end up making a lot of the jankiness of the game show itself, right? I think you're a lot more forgiving when you get these tense moments in these long, elongated fights and you heal up enough to maybe get into a secondary fight and win that one as well. You ain't getting that here, and I'd like to see some improvement on that. But I have to say, on the map front, 5 maps on launch. All right, we could use a few more of that, but they did a fantastic job. Again, coming from like a Call of Duty search and destroy or a Counter-Strike standpoint, or even, I guess you could even go Halo. I think they did a fantastic job both with designing the flow of the maps, the diversity, and giving us a taste. There are 3-lane maps. There are maps that are a little bit more ambiguous in close quarters, maps with longer sight lines. I'm actually pleasantly surprised and impressed with the thoughtfulness of this, but I've always been really impressed with Battlestate's ability to make realistic but functional environments and fun ones to play in. So I guess credit where credit's due on that one, like truly. The comms and the info that you get while playing solo are not enough. That's the case with a lot of single multiplayer games, solo multiplayer games, whether you're playing in Rainbow Six or otherwise. But that's a reason why, like Counter-Strike, it's almost the norm to have comms of some level, 3 to 5 people talking per game. You're not going to get that in every game, but that is the norm when you're doing a tactical based game with the lack of information, no radar at all, and really the kill feed's a blessing. The fact that we have a kill feed in Tarkov is incredibly lucky here, because imagine you don't even know who's killing who or what. So I mean, enough info, and the maps are small enough you can hear gunfights and know there's people over there. Enough info that I think they should keep it this way. It's arcadey enough, and they give you enough to function on some form, but like, yeah, you're struggling if you are playing solo for sure. Let's talk about griefing. Griefing actually is a problem, but not in like the intentional sense. Here's a situation where somebody griefed intentionally or thought they were being funny and then it went wrong. One's on the far right side. Nice. One more.
Oh, he's done.
He's hurt.
I thought he was dead. There's a guy right lane,
yeah,
right
I know,
lane.
and he's hurt.
Dead. I'm getting shot from behind. Teammate.
Oh no, he's killing me
Jimmy,
too.
Are you dumb?
No, I think he's literally trying to. Oh, that's lame. How do I shoot? How do I report him?
All right. I don't think he realizes.
No, I do think he realizes.
He's gonna kill you. Yep.
Are you fucking dumb, Timmy?
Dude, why are you killing us?
Hello?
I'm so
Timmy, you good?
sorry, fellas.
You killed.
Blue.
Holy shit! I'm so sorry, fellas. Just domes him.
Hear me out. I'm so sorry. I did not.
But also, that only happened one time in 6 hours. I mean, really, I've killed maybe one person on my team per game. It's going to happen because you're only going to see their head. You're not going to see their armband in time. It's shoot first, ask questions later. There's not enough comms. Guess what? I'm fine with that. I think it's actually an okay part of the game. It does feel like Tarkov. I've killed more of my teammates in Tarkov than in any other game I've played. So to this, I say, let's keep it going. And then looking at the loadouts that you have available when you rank up these skill trees, obviously it's an insane grind, and I don't understand how they expect anybody to do any more than one single skill tree. And even when you do that, you're still grinding for so long to get to something that's like a higher tier. And then when you use a lower tier kit, you're at a huge disadvantage. I think they need to rethink that. I do. You need to either choose the kit before queuing, so you're queued in with same people or people of a similar kit size, style, ranking, whatever, or I don't know what, but like the M4 with 100 round mag, tier 4 armor, and the Kyver with the face mask is actually a tank for every single person in its class, and you'll see what I mean here. See, he's just got so much armor. He just eats all of the shots. And he's just, I hit him 5 times and he's just hip firing and juggered, like, you know? That's why people are not happy with that class, but. Dude, he's just not, it's just black. He's just holding, laying down. Like, look at this. It's so silly. Like, look at this. He's just holding down the trigger and spraying the whole time. That man got 16 frags playing the Juggernaut. So to wrap it up, I am actually really stoked on it. And I think that it makes a lot of sense from a casual Tarkov perspective to get to experience a lot of the upper level weapons and kits in a less aggressive and less like permanent way, right? I'm not going to take half of these things into raid until like end of wipe, but here I get to try things out. I think that there's a lot of work to get done. I think this is literally the least balanced esports tournament ready thing in the history of esports, and I also don't think I should ever view it as esports. It's a very difficult game to consider balanced at any point in its life cycle, and now to balance 2 separate gameplay mechanics where playing in arena is so much different from playing in the wild in Tarkov. I just have zero faith they're going to balance it correctly, but you know, as a get in with friends and slay out and have some fun, for sure. Again, major change that I'd like to see as well that I probably didn't talk about as much is like the EXP rate that you earn. I just want to have more options to play when I'm in the game. I don't want to only snipe for the rest of my life, just like I don't only want to play, you know, as a SMG rushing guy. And the way it's set up, you're gonna have to play 20, 30, 40 hours in each class just to get like a level 2 or 3 class. And I think that's a little unacceptable, but I'm going to be playing a lot more of this. And I think that as it changes, hopefully I will enjoy it a little bit more. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the Tarkov video. And as always, I will see you guys next time.